Hello folks, in this video I'm going to show you how to download Clery Act data about campus crime that we're going to use in the first lab. So let me share my screen and get going. Alrighty. And in the lab, I have a link to the website, the Clery Act data download website where you can get our data. You can also find it if you were to simply Google we get right here. And so for this assignment, we are going to pretend you're a newspaper reporter in this area. And I want you to look at cases of university disciplinary cases at universities across the nation, and to sort of see how Miami fits in. So we're going to look at university disciplinary cases, and these are of three types: alcohol, it's actually liquor, drug, and firearm. And firearm is boring because there's only one or two cases of firearm violations at Miami University every year. But alcohol and drugs are interesting. So sorry about the talking. Let me get going here. You're going to go to this site, download custom data. Data outlying area. The power of this is that it will let us compare Miami to every university in the country, and that is what we're going to do. Select all. But we don't have to compare it to every university campus in the world. So let's just look at US campuses. So this will actually be excluding our Luxembourg campus for what it's worth. But so United States only. Institution sector. I'm grabbing data here for public four-year and also for private four-year universities. University of Dayton would be a private four-year, for example, or Xavier in Cincinnati. I want to grab these two because I think they're also very interesting. And you can always filter them out on your own Excel sheet. When you see how this comes down, it gets downloaded, you'll see it'll still be quite easy to filter this category if you were only look at public schools if you wanted to, but let's get them all now. And with the same logic, I'm going to select all here. Even though Miami is right around 20,000, but I'm going to grab all the data because we can always just filter it on our own spreadsheet. We could just get journalism programs, universities with journalism programs, but no need. Select them all. Oh, one last thing. Only include campuses with on-campus student housing facilities, because what I think we should look at here is liquor and drug violations on campus. That's a pretty reasonable delineation to make. So, all right. We don't need to look at all these. On this next page, the most recent year it's going to give us, it looks like, is 2018. Now that doesn't mean 2019 data. might be available from Miami University or from various institutions, and they probably haven't even given it to the federal government yet, or perhaps they've prepared the report and sent it to the feds, but the feds haven't collated it yet. In either case, you should be able to get the numbers earlier if you go to them directly, but it takes the federal government a long time. And down here, we are not going to grab, okay, what I want you to look at, disciplinary actions on campus. And disciplinary on campus includes student housing facilities. So that's contained within that. Download. Now this will take a while. So, you know, we're actually going to have to be patient here and wait. Oh, well, actually it didn't take that long, did it? Okay. Now I'm going to open this up. And probably the easiest way for folks would be to launch Excel, right? And then go File, Open. And there it is. So I'm just going to show you around this thing quickly. Kind of interesting data to work with, I think. I'm just growing these a little bit here. Let me expand. So we should remember what these are. These are numbers reported by the university administration about how many students faced on campus or faced disciplinary measures for these various violations on campus. So it's kind of narrow. So the proper word here wouldn't be, you know, if you're going to talk about this in the active voice, you could talk about Miami punished this number of students for drinking violations. Miami cited this number of students. You don't want to call these crimes because they aren't. But I mean, you know, definitionally they're different. But so just mentioning that. Looking across. Oh, let me put on my, let me make this bigger so you can see it. I'm going to put this on. As you can see, got a lot of years in here, which is pretty cool. A lot of data stuffed in here. So you can see how this drinking citation problem and alcohol and drug citation problem has grown. Do be cautious. Don't talk about the number of citations as though it was a direct reflection of the amount of drinking. So for example, if Miami had a big increase in disciplinary violations for liquor laws, that could well mean a change in policy regarding enforcement, for example. It could reflect policy changes or changes like requiring students to live on campus, or students about, regulations regarding RAs. That is more likely to influence directly the number of liquor law violations than something amorphous like culture, right? You know, the students, if you go to Germany, you can find a statue of a student, pouring a beer into his head, right? Students have drink everywhere. Doesn't make Miami unique. And so much more likely to affect a short-term change is something like policy, because changing how people act is very hard. All right, enough speechifying by me, I suppose. But yeah, so don't think about this as a measure of, don't think of it as being a measure of student behavior without also considering that it's also a measure of university policy and enforcement. So. All right, I think that's all I wanted to cover in this video. Obviously, you can pull Miami out of here. So we can see how Miami has changed over time. And then we can also see how schools similar to Miami have changed over time. How to define similar? That's tough. We did some of this when we were downloading the data. Four-year public universities is probably pretty good. And then also think about adjusting for rates, right? Not exactly fair to directly compare what's going on at Miami University with, Ohio State with 3 times as many students. So for example, if you ask the question, which of Ohio's public universities has the most anything, the answer is always Ohio State University. And so using a rate really makes a lot of sense here. Miami, for a rate would be like, Miami University punished 1 in 30 students last year. That's a rate. All right, so check you later.